Let's try to go back to that story. The Free State Health Department will officially open a 79-bed COVID-19 facility at the Pelonomi Hospital in Bloemfontein. The facility is equipped with oxygen, medicine, staff and appropriate PPE to deal with a possible surge in COVID-19 infections in the Free State. Let's now hear from our colleague Palesa Moeti. Palesa, what's happening with the story?
Well, what I can tell you now is that we are already at the Pelonomi Tertiary Hospital here in Bloemfontein, where this additional wing of COVID-19 beds is going to be opened in about less than an hour. In fact, at 12 o'clock, that's when the function is going to be starting. I can tell you that here in the Free State, the infection rate is standing at about 33,600. The recovery rate at this point in this province has improved quite a bit. We're standing at 61%. At some point a few weeks ago, this province's recovery rate was standing at a mere 15%. So it looks like there's an improvement in terms of the number of recoveries. Before we came here, where we were waiting for this event to start and for all the officials to arrive, we went around Mangaung to just speak to residents to hear how they feel about this pandemic now that we are on level 2. Do they feel that we are out of danger, or do they feel that we are still in danger? And the general feeling that we gathered on the ground, people said that they are quite relieved that they are now able to have access to alcohol and cigarettes. However, they are fully aware of the dangers that this disease is bringing along. So the concern on the ground is still there. However, they're also noting that they are quite aware that there are people already that seem to be in a celebratory mood, thinking that it's now free for all. We are heading towards a weekend. That will give us an indication of actually what is the mood on the ground, as we'll be monitoring how people are actually behaving over the weekend with all their entertainment freely available, if I can put it that way. But at this point, at this facility, we're looking at about 79 beds, as you mentioned. Last week, this very province, the Department of Health, also opened up another surge facility in Universitas Hospital, where about 103 beds were made available, also with fully functional capabilities to treat COVID-19 patients in terms of ventilators and oxygen, facilities. But the rest of the province, if I can just mention, there's about 4,000 beds that are available for COVID-19 patients. There's also a field hospital that's been built here in Bloemfontein at the showgrounds, where that will basically be a treatment facility for COVID-19. And that is where we're standing at the moment in terms of how this Department of Health is trying to fight the disease in the province.
Just give us a sense of how the public is responding to the change of the lockdown level to 2 in that province.
Well, what I can tell you is that earlier this week we saw some video footage of people celebrating. There was a party somewhere in the province. They say it's Kroonstad. The validity of that video is questionable, but it looked like there was a party in that part of the province. But as I mentioned a little bit earlier, when we assessed the mood on the ground of residents here in Mangaung, they fully believe that this pandemic is still quite serious, and they're aware that the infection is still, there's still an infection in the air, obviously. People are still getting infected. So people are taking it quite seriously. You'll still notice that people are wearing masks, on the streets. So they realize that it's still very serious, that we're not out of the danger zone yet. However, they're quite, satisfied that their alcohol is available and cigarettes are available, but they're mentioning that we're not out of the danger zone. We also heard while we were speaking to people that they're quite worried about children that are also going to school now. The grade R's will be going to school as well. So they're concerned that, especially with the little ones, it's going to be difficult to monitor whether they observe social distancing, whether they keep their masks on. So those are the things that people are quite aware of, and parents are actually very concerned. There's grade 11s as well that will be going to school as from next week. So most of the schools, the arrangements that we see that have been made here in the townships is that not all the children will be coming 5 days a week. I know that there's one school where children, the grade 11s, will be attending only twice a week. And the other grades, the smaller grades in that high school, that is from grade 8, 9, and 10, they will be attending only once a week. So you can see that even the Department of Education, schools are taking this quite serious, trying to minimize the number of children, on the grounds so that they are able to maintain social distancing and also able to minimize the spread of the disease.
Thank you so much for that update, Palesa Moeti.